All right, so next we have security and decentralized finance. As you guys know, there has been kind of a big hack recently. So we're going to address a little bit of pieces of that. We're going to welcome Kila as our moderator. Also, 𝘝𝘲𝘐𝘗𝘗 from Ledger. Jimmy Zhao from Nodereal. And Ming from 𝘔𝘐𝘚𝘐𝘗, our recently launched EcoNode. Awesome. So give a good round of applause, and let's begin.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Hello, yes.
All right, everybody. I am Kila. I will be the moderator for today. Hope you enjoy it. If you see me later on dancing without a shirt, don't be alarmed. I'm not drunk. That's just me. I'm happy to be here talking about security and decentralized finance with some brilliant minds. I do want to let them go ahead and take the floor and introduce themselves. So introduce yourself, tell them your name, what protocol or what company you're with, but then also give them something that they can't see on like LinkedIn or your Twitter profile. Tell them a little something about yourself. Little nugget.
Hello everyone, I'm 𝘝𝘲𝘁𝗶𝘀, I'm CTO at Ledger. My background is cryptography and security. And a fun fact about me, the first time I heard about Bitcoin was in 2011. At this time, a friend of mine was talking about Bitcoin like every day. And at some point, I decided to get interested into this thing. I studied what was Bitcoin, and at the end, I was like, oh, this thing is technically really interesting, but I don't see the use case. So when I said to my friend that I was joining Ledger, he made fun of me, of course.
Can you tell us the real reason why you were looking into Bitcoin? It's usually either you were looking for drugs, you were gambling, or something along those lines.
I was just interested in the cryptography.
Okay. And how about you, Rain?
Hello. Yeah, my name is Ming. I'm the chief scientist of both Metis and 𝘔𝘐𝘚𝘐𝘕, which is a new zero-knowledge proof component universal L2 settlement layer for Ethereum and blockchain and non-blockchain apps. So I used to do privacy application for protocols for Bitcoin. So I'm also an SKP from the Bitcoin world. But the thing about Bitcoin is that it's difficult to change. It's very difficult to make any change. So every new solution, every new idea, you have to start like another blockchain, right? Another blockchain. So I gave up. I say Ethereum is the way to go. Ethereum is the future. And with my new endeavor, 𝘔𝘐𝘚𝘐𝘗, we actually wanted to make Ethereum the universal settlement layer for both financial and non-financial apps, blockchain and non-blockchain apps. So that's a big aim, a big goal, but I think Ethereum is totally capable of doing it. I'm very confident that it will be.
Amazing, Ming. And Jimmy, how about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jimmy. Actually, I'm from Nodereal. Basically, I'm quite very interested in the blockchain use cases and also the latest technology. We are actually building the infrastructure part of the blockchain itself, and we are one of the core contributors to the BNB chain as well. So basically, at this moment, we focus on the layer 2 solutions. For example, we are actually the core builder of the OPBNB we just released for the BNB chain as well. And we also build the customized enterprise solutions for different use cases. So myself, I'm very, very optimistic about, the technology development. Even we know we have, in this industry, we have a lot of problems to be solved. But I know that during this kind of the development is very fast. So this problem can be solved piece by piece. And I think that will be very interesting to observe how the industry is going to evolve in a mid and long term.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you bring it up. How about we kind of dive right into that? Like, how have you seen DeFi evolve over the last, say, two or 3 years? I'll start with Jimmy here.
Actually, in the last 2 or 3 years, DeFi has, make a really great progress. We actually, a lot of the users coming from the decentralized, the CEX, the centralized exchanges to the DeFi platform, including myself, actually. So it gave the users more options and more security solution instead of, you have to trust a single entity to manage your assets. At the same time, also provide the liquidity pool for the industry to increase the different possibilities of making the assets optimized for different use cases. At the same time, the bridge and of course the ZK knowledge proof development, this kind of the possibilities is emerging as well. But the security, I think, could be we already encountered some problems in the past year actually. So this kind of things, I think, is a great opportunity to rethink what are kind of the solutions we can bring into the industry.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. We'll get deeper into that. I guess, Ming, in terms of DeFi, where do you see the potential of DeFi kind of heading over the next, say, mini cycle?
If you leave it for me, I think DeFi will sweep up all the centralized exchanges because of the trust issue. So I'm a diehard decentralization kind of guy, and I don't think there's any future left for the centralized exchanges and just traditional financial institutions, because they have this trust issue that people lost money big. When the time is hard, they don't have anything to back them up.
Yeah. I guess here, Charles, what do we have to do to kind of see that future play out?
It's a question of incentives at the end. Like, people will use DeFi because there are better incentives. And when you see what happened in 2022 in the CeFi world, the incentives are pretty clear. Like, there was FTX, there was a few other Celsius and 3 euros capital. And if you don't own your value, if you don't own your key, then there is a risk for you. So that's where DeFi comes with a good solution. You have self-custody on one hand and DeFi on the other hand, and the incentive is to be owner of your value. And then it comes with several challenges. One of them is security, of course, and another is scalability. Because as of today, we are talking about DeFi on the current blockchain, but the problem we have today is that the blockchain that we have are not really scalable, and in the next cycle, that will be a challenge. Because if it costs like $100,000 to complete a transaction, it's meaningless. So that's why we need layer 2. We need more scalable solutions.
So can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Basically, not only the cost, but also the throughput of the blockchain. So because we already encountered a lot of the network problem if the transactions are coming very fast. So this kind of things, of course, we are developing the scalability solutions to improve this. So of course, the ZK EVM or optimistic roll up the layer 2 solutions. I want to say the settlement is another thing we want to solve, and the data availability problems is another thing we want to consider. So from the security perspective, we also need more rigid or more thorough code scanning tools, including maybe we can reuse some of the machine learning tools to help the the code quality using the this kind of the latest technology to guarantee the security.
You bring up tools, Ming. What kind of tools are being built right now, are actually available within the security space? Because I mean, we're talking about security here within the blockchain space. What are those tools that are readily available, and what maybe is being built in the backgrounds that we're not aware of?
Yeah, like the investment in technology is amazing in the blockchain, especially on Ethereum. I think the big story this year is L2 rollup and ZK, right? So ZK is everywhere. ZKP is the, sort of like the panacea for everything. So so this technology definitely is the future. But the thing is, ZKP is hard. And a lot of the technologies being developed today are actually not really like zero knowledge proof, right? They're like they're called like succinct proof. So they're not like really, they're just doing a small range of proofs. Like, it's not the universal kind of proof engine. So in order to do that, we need to develop new technologies that can do a bigger range of proofs. So this is, I hope the technology we're developing, ZKM, is a universal proof machine. So, there are a lot of flavors of ZK EVM, and EVM itself is changing a lot. And one thing in the development world is that security apps are notoriously difficult to do. So you don't want like a game designer, like a wallet designer to think too much about security. If you let everyone to build their own, for example, if you want everyone to kind of make their own knife to cut their onions, right? That's kind of you don't want that. So a better way is to develop like a lower level ZKP machine that every VMs, every apps can build on top of it. That's our goal. So I think that's the kind of technology or tool, universal tool that we're building, and we try to make Ethereum a better, secure settlement layer for all kinds of apps.
Got you. Okay, I want to ask a question to each one of you. I mean, we're talking about security here. And so one, I want to know what the security mean to you guys. But then the second piece is, over the last, say, year, what has been your favorite hack? And it doesn't mean like you like the hack, but like one that you saw and you were like, well, shit, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think security is a chain, and the overall solution is as secure as the weakest link in the chain. This is something you really have to keep in mind. Those guys are working on securing the blockchain itself, securing the apps running on the blockchain. What we are doing at Ledger is securing the first link, the link between the user and the interaction with the blockchain. When it comes to sending a Bitcoin on the blockchain, it's pretty simple. You simply sign a message that essentially says, I'm sending this amount of Bitcoin to this address. When it comes to doing complex smart contract interaction, it's much more complex to provide to the user all the information about what's going on, what are the impacts of this interaction. So this is what we are working on, providing to the user as much information as possible, whether for him to make the right choice when he signs some transaction.
And your favorite hack?
I all the time hacks are not a good thing, but I got interested in the cloth bridges hack that we got in the past months and years, and frankly, the level is very high because the hacks are often a combination of like hard math plus some software issues, and sometimes it's also included noticing that is not correctly set up. It's always a combination of different things, and always a lot of very instruction to understand how it happens. So not one in particular, but the one around blockchain bridges are often very interesting.
Perfect. Jimmy, how about yourself?
I really interested in the account abstraction. Yeah, because if we want to push the DeFi, that means the users should be comfortable about manage their own accounts. It could be for the people who are not familiar with the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology. That's the big problem we want to solve. So I can see a lot of different solutions are building and a lot of discussions around this topic. Even some of the chains has already implemented their own solutions, but that is really good thing. But I have a feeling that a little bit of concern about the current solution is that some people just save their privacies or their credentials to the centralized cloud key manager, for example, using the Google Cloud or any other cloud provider to save their credentials. That could be a risk of data breach. So this kind of things need to be solved as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Ming, I guess, what are I'll kind of go into a different question here for you. What are the security standards that if you were talking to a protocol or if you're talking to a chain that is about to launch, what tips would you give them in terms of those standards?
Actually, I wanted to, because your previous question is actually very interesting.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll answer both, yes. So in my mind, the security is very simple. So what is security? Security means you want a machine to do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that's where it's, that's just that simple. As security, right? The favorite hack, I have one. I'm not going to name names, but it's a bridge hack where they use like only 5 keys to secure like $100 million.
Yep.
And for some really like stupid reason, 3 of 5 keys got compromised. So that tells that the lacking of security in those supposedly should be very secure mechanism to protect hundreds of millions of user funds, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So to make it work, it's actually pretty simple. It's all straightforward. You make someone cannot get past it if you have like a interactive process of asking to challenge, right? If you challenge someone in a couple rounds, a fraudster will be very difficult to pass that kind of test.
Yeah.
So we need more of this kind of more secure protocol doing multi-round challenges, interactive proof. Okay, so that's for that. For devices for developing a secure app, I would say follow. Don't invent your own wheel, right? Follow the best practices of security. Programming or development, guidance. But, you should choose a framework that's have solid security solution up front. So I would say choose our product because we will solve this for you. When we did it, you won't have to. That's the best solution.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I guess here, Charles, like not the companies that are here on the panel, but what protocols or companies do you look at and you say they have their shit together when it comes to security? Like these are the model like protocols.
It's difficult to answer to this question because if I say something, they get hacked. I won't say anyone because like security is in the mind of everyone in the stage because we know that the stakes are high and if we do a big mistake, everything can go. Like if there was no because of the immutability and so on. And then, so everyone has security in mind. Everyone says we are the most secure solution out there and so on. And at the end, it's impossible to know what's going on behind the scene. And only the time tells. So your protocol needs to pass the test of time. Your cryptography, the sharing Guillemet, your cryptography needs to pass the test of time. And in our ecosystem, it's really hard. And we can do one mistake and someone or gets your drain your contract and that's it. So we are then learning with in this ecosystem and the order you protocol in the most security. I think this is the best.
Battle tested, basically.
In this,
Yeah. Jimmy, what role do you think, or do you think that governments should actually have a role to play in protecting the user?
This is a really difficult question to answer.
Ball question.
Yeah, of course. I believe so. The government should have a very clear definition of the regulations. So I think the clear regulations can promote this industry because they can provide the confidence to the users.
But what would some of those clear regulations kind of look like? And if you were sitting at the table and you had to advise some of those power players, what would you tell them?
Myself, I'm not an expert of the regulations, but from the technical perspective, I would say the ownership and the privacy protection should be the first. Because I just think I'm a user. I want to protect my privacy as well as I want to protect my assets on the chain. Another thing I want to say, from the protocol perspective, if they want their chain to succeed, I think of course the security is the first priority. Besides the performance and the cost, a lot of the transactions are a lot of chains has very expensive gas fees, especially if there is a traffic spike. So this kind of things, the user experiences is another thing we want to guarantee.
Got you. When it comes to user experience, and I'll make this kind of like the last bit, how do we bring some more of the Web 2 space into what we all love today in Web 3? Like, what are those tips?
Yeah, this one is a complex one, and I think this is one of the challenges we have because we often talk about security and so on, but if you design a very secure solution, but it's so complex that no one uses it, you don't solve any problem. So ease of use is also a major challenge, and we are a bunch of geeks here, and we are not afraid of this hexadecimal strings and so on. But this is not how my mother will interact with crypto.
Correct.
Hexadecimal string are too complex for my mother, and when she sees one, she thinks there is a mistake, there is an error. So we need to think about this. We need to think about the average people who are not glitching and only wants to get access to this fair and more freedom or rules with crypto, and we need to provide them with tools that allows them to use crypto. So I think this 24 words is one of the challenges, and we are working at the and provide some easier solution for that. There has been some debate around that.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to just see if, because there was a lot of backlash from the ledger recovery. I guess what lessons did you guys learn from that?
Yeah, we learned a lot of stuff. I think in the several takeaways, one of them is, as of today, the ecosystem is really plenty very GT, and people are quite confident to manage their treasuries on their own, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. And we also have to think about people from Web3 need a solution to that. And also another takeaway from me was that the ecosystem cares about ledger. We wouldn't have Ming.
Yeah.
This was something important for me. And the last one was, even in this very GT population, there was some misunderstanding on how the wallet worked, or how the wallet especially worked. So that was a good reminder for me that education is important. It's then how things work is important. And for the newcomers, making sure that things are as secure as possible, hiding the complexity is for the good, I think.
Perfect. Ming, bringing Web 2 or bringing people from Web 2 to Web 3, and we'll make it brief before Kat kind of gives me the evil eye again.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I'll just remind everyone. I just read some tweet recently exactly talking about this point. So, what is the best social network app on Web 3? Where on Web 2 we have Facebook, we have everything, right? Web 3, what is? Oh, the answer. So the answer I saw is Uniswap. So Uniswap is the best social network. So this points out to a very sad fact that crypto is still like it's just a point-to-point payment network, right? If you want to do Web3, you have to bring a whole broader spectrum of apps, right? Games, everything, instead of just a payment system. For that to happen, we need more security, which is, I think, zero knowledge proof kind of tell they can fuel the next renaissance of real Web3 apps. Yeah.
Perfect. Jimmy, you can close it out.
Yeah, I want to say you just mentioned the social network application. You just forgot the GitHub. GitHub is one of the most popular social platform in the Web 2. So from my perspective, I would say if we want to make the mass adoption, we want to bring more users from Web 2 to Web 3. I would say, the simple definition is, if my mom can do it, that's it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. So we have to hire more, we have to bring more good product teams, good product designers. As well, we want to bring down the response time to bring down the latency of the Web3 applications. That's the key to succeed.
Beautifully said. Jimmy, Ming, Charles, thank you. Any final tips or last bit words?
For me, the most important thing in crypto is self-custody, being in power, being in control. And when I hear about people who think they are in crypto because they have bought some Bitcoin on Robinhood, frankly, this is not what crypto is about. So let's think about that.
Anything else?
Yeah, I would just say that, look out, like Ethereum is coming for you. Ethereum layer 2 is coming for you.
I totally agree. And I would say, let's keep optimistic about the industry and about the future and bring back the ownership of people's data.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. And I think that is it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.